Hi, I'm Dan Becker, a pianist and composer from Massachusetts. Today, I'm going to show you how to felt a piano and why you might want to do it. I brought 3 different kinds of felt with me. We've got 2 wool felts. The white is much thicker than the gray. And then we've got an acrylic felt. Let's get into it. So these 2 are wool. This one is pretty pliable. This one's much thicker. So this should give a darker sound. And this one's acrylic. And we're going to see what sounds best or different and what might happen. So this is Monte. We're at 1357 Studios, recording studios.
Hey everyone.
So we're going to open this thing up. And let's take this off. All right, so we're going to set up the mics first. I'll show you what it sounds like in this fashion, and then we'll put it on, and we'll have the same mic set up, and you'll have a A to B difference.
So right now I'm setting up a stereo pair of small diaphragm condensers. You can use any sort of microphones on piano. I'm using these small diaphragm condensers by a company called Soyuz because they're just a nice, clean, and clear representation of whatever source you have them pointed at. I love these on all sorts of things, but we tried them when Daniel was here the last time, and they sounded wonderful. I'm doing a spaced pair so you can see they're physically spaced apart from one another just to give a nice stereo image of the piano itself. And then as far as placement outside of that goes, I'm just trying to point them kind of in and a little bit at the hammers as well so that you get the nice attack, especially with a felted piano. It's nice to kind of get that nice warm attack. And yeah, like I said, when we did this before, it came out great. So we're going to do it again. We also, we have some other, condensers set up on the ceiling up here, kind of pointed away from the piano. The reason being, this room compared to some of the other rooms here at the studio is a much liver room. So I wanted to capture the sound of the room as well, not just the close mic'd sound of the piano. I have them pointing away from the piano because, again, I'm trying to capture the sound of the room, not so much the sound of the piano itself in the room.
Monte, what's the story behind this piano?
A good friend of mine who does work at this studio had the piano at his house for many years. I think it was in his family's living room. He would record it there a lot of the time. When they moved, the piano had to move as well. When the piano had to move, he had a buddy who had a tattoo shop, and his buddy who owned the tattoo shop said, "Hey, do you mind if I paint it?" Hence you can see the original kind of paint, the original, color of the piano has been painted over on the outside.
It almost looks like chalkboard paint.
Exactly. And he actually had melted a bunch of different candles on it, which is why there's still some wax left over from that. When we brought it in, it still had a bunch of candles and stuff attached to it, but it seemed like every time we did a recording, stuff was falling off all over the place. I mean, some could say maybe it added to the sound of the piano, but it was just getting a little messy, so we took out or took off all the candle wax. So yeah, I think we're kind of in the general vicinity. We'll have you play a little bit, and
Okay.
I'll get some sounds going, and if I need to move anything, I'll do that.
Okay.
Awesome.
Remembering there's something to sit on. I'm a little short for that bench.
Oh, a pillow on the couch?
Yeah, it must be it. Oh yeah, that's it. So do I just go? I think it's all waiting on me now.
Yeah, I'm rolling.
All right, it's all waiting on me. We'll play that one. There is some creaking. Do you think we should try to address that creaking?
Oh, right. Yeah, we had that little piece of wood.
I think it might be something else. Put this under there? That can't be it. Anyway, it's inside.
It's all right. We can put a little something under there.
Doesn't it sound more in here? I don't know.
It could be that causing the wood to...
I think we put this here because it just prevented that from happening.
Exactly.
And it just does prevent it from happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
How did that creaking, was that like terrible on the recording?
No, but if you wanted to play the same thing again, wouldn't hurt.
Okay. Sorry, it's got to go this way. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's ringing this one. I have to check something. We can just keep rolling though, because I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Seems too low. It's the absence of the felt, Monty. That makes me wonder something. All right, I'll go with it. goes down just far enough. So if this was shorter by like a 1/16 of an inch, then some of these notes don't sustain right now because we propped it up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of resonance.
Yeah.
Like compared to.
Right. I see.
Where does the felt go?
In between here.
Okay, so it goes.
So we're just going to drape it over and it's going to fall down here.
Yeah, we actually have one that's already cut.
We have two actually.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the one that's not cut. All right. So maybe you take a side.
Mm-hmm.
So on this piano, we have felt here already, and it's just going to grab it. This is just wide enough, and it came that way. So I'll have to do just a few cuts. So around here, we'll start with that. Actually, I want to get the height right. Can you come up here? So we have to make it so that it doesn't interrupt the dampers, which are down here. Right, so we cannot have it in there, because that'll create some weird effect that I don't know what it sounds like, but it's not going to be good. But it needs to be lower than where these make contact. So the center of this, so there's kind of a tight tolerance here. The center of the hammer needs to strike the felt for sure, but the dampers cannot get, the felt cannot get trapped in the dampers. That's basically the most important thing. That's the only critical thing. Other than that, you need to cut it to size. So this here, you can see that's going to trap. So we can't have that.
Right, so we need to just pull it back a little bit.
No, it's a little angled is all.
Oh, you're going to trim it?
I remember doing this on the...
Yeah, I remember that too, actually.
We'll just see how the rest goes. We got to bring this
Actually,
down more.
size that up, all right.
So just going around checking, making sure that they all... I moved it a little.
And this is the thickest of the three.
This is the thickest, and it also seems to be the stretchiest. Which, now it being so thick, I wonder if it'll just stick against the strings a little. Mm-hmm. We'll see what it sounds like. What did that sound like?
Much more muted, for sure.
Okay. So you get a lot of dampening on the lower register especially. And up here it rings out more. I actually had a hard time finding a studio that would kind of let me do this to their piano, so I was really grateful when I met Monte. I called around to, I think, 7 different studios, and the thing about studios with pianos is most of them are grands, which is incredibly hard to accomplish compared to this. So Monte and I found each other, and we've been working together on this. So, what did you think of that take?
I thought the take was great. I thought an interesting thing about the thicker felt is certainly it warms it up, it dampens things in a certain way, but it also tends to bring out other harmonic frequencies that you might not hear with different thicknesses of felt. You know, maybe a thinner felt is a bit more open sounding, but some of those intricate, more harmonic frequencies might not come through as much, or you might not be able to hear those as much in contrast.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, I heard a lot more of those kind of eerie harmonics, if you will.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Which was kind of neat. So, yeah.
It's interesting because from my perspective, I heard less of that compared to the other felt we've used.
Yeah, there was a few things that stuck out to me, but certainly, this is the warmest.
Yeah.
But in turn, it's also kind of a bit quieter overall because it's dampening things, which is basically what the felt accomplishes.
Yeah, it takes like kind of the shrillness out of the piano. Yeah, it makes it more muted and muffled and warm and intimate, really, I think.
Yeah, that's a good word, intimate, for sure.
Yeah.
So it would be like comparable to like stuffing a pillow in the bass drum of a drum?
Yeah, or like, another drum reference would be, the Beatles were famous back in the day for putting like thin little tea towels on the toms. And Ringo kind of became known for that drum sound, and a lot of people have been using it, over the years to kind of get that same kind of vibe.
And this has actually been used for decades in a lot of recordings that most of you have probably heard in movies, shows. It's sometimes very, very subtle. But if you listen closely next time you're listening to some piano, you might be able to pick out some felted piano. It was hard for me to find someone to do it with, and it's hard for the average listener to know that this is a thing. So, hope you enjoy it and hope you decide to do it. I've heard professional recordings where they do felt a piano in a way that it sounds broken, and it must be intentional if they're keeping it. Yeah, so this is already cut. It feels stiffer, right? It feels like
Definitely.
a more compressed, dense material.
And is this one wool? Or is this
Yeah,
one
it's
vinyl?
wool as well.
Okay, so this is a thinner wool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it just feels like it's packed, and the other one's fluffy like a fleece. So let's see what this sounds like. I'm going to play the same piece. This is called The Weight.
I remember now what you were saying about that one. Felt the most like broken.
I think what's happening is it's too stiff. And when would I use that?
I guess that one might be more suitable for something you wanted to sound kind of messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I think is happening here is this fiber is so stiff, and a hammer strikes what's supposed to be 3 strings, and it ends up being 5. Some of them.
Yeah, it has more of that effect on other notes.
Yeah. So it sounds darker, but not as dark as the other stuff, right?
Right.
I heard more of those, like what I call errant frequencies coming out with this stuff than I did with the first stuff. What did you hear on your end?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. It definitely seems to bring out a lot more quirkiness in the playing, you know?
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah. I have heard recordings, professional recordings done where the piano just sounds broken because they felt it was something so thick or so stiff or something. And you hear so much errant strings. And I'm not a fan of that, so I wouldn't probably use this. It has that effect, you know.
Right.
You're getting wrong notes essentially, and it creates an atmosphere, but it's a personal preference, I would say.
Definitely a personal preference, and also part of the journey, I guess, too, is like different pianos are going to react to different felts certain ways.
Yeah.
And you don't know
piano,
until you know.
This might sound different and fantastic on. It might not have these issues. Pianos are like cars. They start out new, but after 10 years, you know, they're all unique. So
They all have their own personality.
yeah. All right, so we can try the next one. All right, let's put the next one on, which is already cut, makes it easy. So let's see. Not only was this less expensive, but they gave us a lot more of it. It comes wider. I think that we have to go this way. I like that one the best. It just sings. What'd you think, Monty?
That was kind of the best of both worlds, I think.
Hmm.
In the sense of, you know, you still get a lot of that warmth without so many of those like kind of odd harmonics sticking out and poking through. So I think, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but it'd probably be a decision, maybe even song to song between
Yeah, I think
those
absolutely
felts.
it could be. And if you had like 10 of these to play around with, you might end up, using all kinds of different ones for different pieces. You get more of that with this, more of that long resonance, I think, than with the others.
For sure.
And then I noticed that there's more, this mysterious noise that we get where it's like, ring. We don't know where that comes from. But I think this provides more of it than the others. I don't know if you agree with that. You're on the other end, you can hear what, you can hear the final product, sort of,
Right.
compared to me. What do you think about, can you hear more of that stuff going on?
Yeah, I definitely hear more of that for sure. And it's, just overall a bit more open compared to the white felt.
Yeah, that was very damp, very dampened. Okay. Thoughts?
I think it would be cool to split that, do half that and half that thick one in one, at the same time, just to hear like
We can do that.
craziness. But yeah, just be like it. And
That would be fun. We'll
honestly,
just turn them this
This would be
way.
a cool series that you could continue. Where it's like, what type of material would you want to hear next?
Because it was an interesting idea. So here we are. Oh, I should play something like low. I don't know, something that really splits it up there. All right, so we're done. If you have any thoughts or questions, leave them in the comments below. If you want to try a different fabric, let us know. I'm Dan Becker. You can find me at DanBecker.music.com or on social media at DanBeckerThePianist.
And I'm Monte Arnstam here at 1357 Recording Studio. Check us out online, www.1357recordingstudio.com.
Thanks for watching.